G'day everyone, welcome to another video by myself, Andrew DFT. And of course in today's video, it's part 2 of the Mass Effect Andromeda Predator Pistol tutorial. So of course remember we're building this all out of EVA foam, so when you've got the finished copy it's going to be something like this. Now what we are going to do in this one, we're going to go ahead and start adding all these individual extra layers that come up and build on top of this piece to really give that 3D appearance we really want to achieve. That's all going to be very simple to do as well. We're just going to be using some smaller and thinner forms of foam that will wrap around and give us that extra level that we're after. But let's jump right into it and finish off this project. Alright, so to jump off where we left, we'll go ahead and grab this template. We'll then chuck it onto some foam, being sure to flip it so we get a left and a right side. You can then take that piece of foam and actually cut it out and add a depth line about halfway through this. We're actually going to trim this in half to make it a thinner piece, so that way it's not exactly the same level as the previous middle section, but it will sit a bit above the internal levels, but still give it a nice kind of 3D terraced effect. Once you've laid that in, we'll leave that there and move on to the handle. Now with the handle, we'll grab the templates and cut the interior perimeter section out. You should already have it done, but then you're going to grab some 3mm foam, or whatever smaller foam you have available, and trace those sections on. Once you've cut those out, you can simply glue them onto the main handle out of the original foam, and they should sit in there pretty nice as we've already laid out the foundations for where they should sit. But make sure you put glue to the perimeters of that so that way they sit in there perfectly. Now we can jump back to that original template and we'll go ahead and start applying some of these internal rectangle segments you can see on it. What you can do is simply manually transfer those onto the 3mm foam that we used just before for the handle, and you can actually glue them on top like this. You simply just need to place them in position. They should sit in the middle of that design piece and give a nice little raised effect like that. Now what we're going to do is cut a long slab of foam. This is pretty small, as you can tell by the measurement on the rectangles behind it. And what you can do is you can throw it around the front handle section and measure out how long it actually is to wrap around. Once you've got that nice length, you can go ahead and make, I think, 6 individual segments. And what we'll do is we'll then start gluing them around and putting them into place. But to know exactly where you need to put them, you can just use the template to mark out where the individual spaces are, and then simply apply the glue and wrap them around. Because they are the right length, they shouldn't have any problem in overshooting its designated area. Just take your time, take your patience, and keep them as well spaced as possible to give us the better look in the end. Now we're going to add a tiny piece of detail, which is of course the iron scoping sight that sits up the top. All we need to do is use the template to cut out the piece of foam. At the moment, of course, we've got the texture side on, so we don't really want that. So add a depth line about 80% of the way through the foam towards the textured side, and then we can simply grab a nice sharp crab blade and slice it off, leaving a nice two-sided thin piece. And of course, just go ahead and glue it. It should be right up the front there. It doesn't necessarily need to be right on the tip, maybe dragging it back 5mm or so. Now if you want to do a barrel, you can do one by applying PVC pipe, or if you want a really small easy one, just grab some 3mm foam, cut out some circles and simply glue them on this front there. I mean, it's not the most advanced way to do it, but it is a way to solve the issue. Unless you can have PVC pipes, then definitely go to that. Now comes the fun part. We're going to score this. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with scoring, just watch what I'm doing on screen. I'm cutting about a few millimeters or so into the foam. I'm just breaking the surface, not cutting all the way through or even intending to. Going across all the lines that we've drawn on, of course, what these are going to become is some kind of intense detail pieces. Right now they just look like lines, you can't really tell, but once we've gone through on both sides and made sure we've gone through and hit all of those with some scoring technique, we can then apply some heat like we're doing now, and make sure you go through and give it a solid amount of heat, and you should see it transform before your eyes. But ultimately it's going to give us this really lovely appearance like that. Everything's popping, everything's showing. So of course when we go and paint this thing up, we do some weathering effects, we chuck some dirt in those crevices, they're all going to stand out perfectly. But ultimately, that's it. I'm very happy with how this has turned out for a basic beginner's tutorial, especially for those who want to go in and build one of these. For being possibly new to foam, it should be a good build and easy enough to achieve, and the detail you get out of it is sufficient. So that's it, done and dusted. Now that you have it fully completed, you can go off and personalize it, customize it however you wish. Remember, if you do have some more advanced skills, you can definitely take it further by using different techniques and achieving some more enhanced detail than what was shown in this basic beginner's tutorial. And of course, if you want to fill in some of these seams that you can see going throughout the main gun, I did them in this tutorial simply so I can show you that they exist. Yeah, that's why I did it. I'm not lazy or anything. But if you did want to do that using a basic technique that I use for all my props, you can follow that video tutorial via the thumbnail at the end of this video. But that's it, we'll wrap it up. Thanks for enjoying the video, thanks for following along, and if you have built or constructed this from the tutorial, I'd love to see it. Please share it there on my Facebook fan page. You can either personal message me or post it on the wall for others to see. And if you like the vid, click the thumbs up button. It lets me know you enjoy the content. If you want to see other stuff done in this style, let me know via the comments below. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, maybe think about doing so, as I got cool content on the way. And to that, thank you very much for watching, and until the next one, catch you later.